Politicians are thin-skinned. It's an open secret in most countries. They hate any sort of criticism. But for a long time, they had no option but to hear it. You couldn't just jail every single critic or block their voice out. But with social media, most criticism has shifted online. It has also become a lot more personal and toxic. People don't just attack policies, they also attack a public official's identity, even their family. As they say in boxing, cheap shots. Social media platforms do have an answer for this problem. It's called the block button. If someone is personally attacking you, just block them. But as always, some public officials use it for the wrong reasons. Don't like an opinion? Block the user. Don't agree with the criticism? Block. Not interested in a complaint? Well, block away. It's an easy way out for public officials. The question is, should they have this power? Should they have the power to block people? The US Supreme Court is debating this question. It is hearing two different cases, both related to blocking users. I'll give you a quick rundown. The court will decide if blocking users is a violation of the First Amendment of the US Constitution. Now, what does the First Amendment talk about? Freedom of speech, among other things. And this promises to be an interesting legal debate. There are multiple questions to answer. Number one, is blocking someone the same as muzzling them? Because a block is not like a ban. Your tweets or posts only become unavailable to that person, not to the entire platform. Number two, does social media activity count as government work? If it does, then blocking is dangerous. If not, it could be considered a personal action. It's one of those confusing debates. On the one hand, toxicity and hate are real problems. So is a leader crushing dissent. Let me tell you about a study conducted in Germany. It found that 54% of all German mayors had experienced online hate. More than half of them ignored it. 5% of them blocked the user, and 8% filed a judicial complaint. So in most cases, public officials just take it on the chin. But there is a disproportionate impact. Women and minority leaders face more hate online. Sometimes it forces them to quit their job. Let me introduce you to Kia Morris. She was the only African-American lawmaker in the US state of Vermont, but in 2018 she stepped down. The reason? A wave of online and offline hatred. Another example is Nikki Morgan. She was a cabinet minister in the UK, but in 2019 she did not stand for re-election. The reason? Online abuse, among others. The situation in the UK is so bad that women's organizations have raised an alarm. They say female lawmakers are retiring much earlier, a major reason being the barrage of abuse and hate. A third example is Lisa van Ginneken. She's the first transgender MP in the Netherlands, but in 2022, she announced she is leaving Twitter. The reason? Online hate. For such officials and leaders, the block button is important. Not for crushing dissent, but for their mental peace and sanity. Having said that, there is another side to this debate, and that side is leaders like Donald Trump. He is said to have blocked hundreds of users on Twitter, from journalists to writers to comedians. In fact, his blocking spree became a legal case. A federal judge in the US ordered Trump to unblock multiple accounts. The judge said it is a violation of the First Amendment. Trump did move the Supreme Court, but by then he was out of office. Now, the US Supreme Court has another shot at the case. Their decision could set a template elsewhere, because online hate is a problem in most countries. I think we can all agree that politicians will never stop using social media. I think we can also agree that social media will never become 100% hate-free. So what's the solution? The bare minimum should be guidelines. Yes, politicians have signed up for a career of criticism, but stick to policies. Don't drag in their family or their race or their gender into it.